Hello, this video is brought to you from the Student Learning Center via Learning Comment. I will have information at the end of this video about how to get a hold of me. Today, we are going to talk about Revit 2 or Building Information Modeling. Here is the schedule, so to say, for what we are going to talk about today. We are mainly going over phasing, everything you need to know about Revit. The last thing I wanted to say was that if you have not had Revit in a while, definitely go and look into the Revit 1 tip sheet full of really good tips. This Revit tip sheet is actually specific to this class. And so it really gives the real world perspective to this project. All right, so let's get to it. So as you know, when you start this class, you are asked to bring an AutoCAD file into Revit and you're to create this office building. So you need to make sure that everything is named correctly. So everything is in existing. That phasing, phase filter, notice that this is the view. So this is the existing floor plan view. And when you change those phases, different things happen. So don't be afraid to play around with that, and it will really help you understand what this thing is doing, okay? Especially once you get into the later portion of this class and you've got new construction items, which is where we are at in this model. So don't be alarmed if your project does not look like this, right? So again, just notice that these walls, when you change them, they not only have a different phase created, but they might have a phase demolished. The properties change for everything that you're clicked on, okay? There is a difference between the properties of the view and the properties of the component. The other window to be paying attention to is the project browser. One thing I will say is that by the end of this project, you'll have several different types of floor plan views. You're going to have finished floor plans, you're going to have furniture floor plans, and so that starts to get to be a lot to look at, with it needing to be an existing, a demo, and a new construction, right? And so oftentimes I suggest numbering them, the before floor plan, so to say, right? And then you can jump to the new construction floor plan to see the way that then all of those changes that you've made for the client look now, and they're not all mixed up. So as you can see here, like demo plan is number 1, and you may not want that. It may be easier to look at. It is time consuming, but in a lot of ways, all these little tedious things that you can do are going to make your life so much easier moving on once you get into, week 4, 5, 6. All right, so lastly, I just want to say that it is really important to always be checking the scale and the detail level of each of your views. It is per view, and my default is always 1/4 of an inch and fine detail. That's where you're going to see the most. And you'll notice that in these walls you get more detail and you can see better which way the wall is actually facing. Those arrows meaning that the exterior side of the wall is actually on the exterior side of the building. So this will help you continue on making sure that everything's nice and clean and that you're seeing it correctly. All right, so then moving on to the demo floor plan. This one is now showing what the walls look like, or the components, after we've demoed some things. Again, pay attention to the property window and what these things are saying. So each component you click on, they're going to tell you what phase they're in, and that is not per view, that is in every view you look at, they are the same. So you could change the phase here in demo, and it makes a difference in all the views. So just because you're in one view doesn't mean that you have to go back to, existing to change something. You can change it here, and that's for all of the different views. You can do it several ways. So you can change just the phase right there in the property browser, or you can use the actual demo tool, and those dotted lines are showing you that something has been demoed. All right, so on to the new floor plan. So again, it's a lot like the other two that we've seen. Paying attention to our properties, we're in the floor plan view. We're going to scroll down. We can see that it's in the correct phasing. And so then when we start clicking on things in this new floor plan, there are existing elements, because some of these things stay the same. They didn't change, right? When we do demo to a real project, oftentimes the exterior building stays the same. It's interior walls, it's components that are changing. So that's the theory here. The exterior walls, the bathrooms, some of those interior walls, the columns, they all stay the same phase. They are always existing. They exist prior to you making change. So then what the new construction plan also is showing any new walls, any new components that you put in. All right, so moving on, I wanted to get a little down into the nitty-gritty. And oftentimes new students tend to draw this floor and only go to the interior side of the wall, and we need it to go to the exterior side of that wall. In this case, because this is the subfloor, we need those walls to sit on something, right? That's part of the foundation. And so then if we had a floor 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., then those walls would be on the interior side of the wall. Almost never do we put walls or ceilings or anything like that in the middle of the wall, okay? So just be really intentional about these lines and where you're putting them, and you'll notice the differences later of how much cleaner and nicer the project looks and how much more realistic. So now obviously we can see that that wall is sitting on top of that floor. So I hope that all of these things help you moving forward in your project. I know that it is a lot to take in, and so hopefully by doing it by sections helps you be able to go back and reference something as you're actually working in it. As always, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me directly, or you can email the Student Learning Center. You can also schedule directly with me or any other tutor that is at the MyWC. If you do not know how to schedule, please reach out to the library or the Student Learning Center. So happy Reviting and good luck.